going on, everyone? So, per reports, Giannis still prefers the New York Knicks, but the Knicks aren't the only team. Like, they're not going to have exclusivity. There's several teams that are in the mix and that Giannis could potentially go to if he ends up getting traded. But even Sham said, like, look, the writing's on the wall. It's one of those things that it feels like a matter of when, not if. Right? Is it going to happen this season or is it going to happen in the offseason? I think it's more likely to happen in the offseason. I think Giannis kind of goes through this season and just kind of gets under his belt and then just goes, okay, I'm in the offseason. It's the final year of my deal. I have more power. I have more control, kind of dictate and push where he wants to go. I think also it would give teams the chance to really evaluate and see, like, is that really the direction we want to go? Like, right? Like, if the Knicks lose in the second round, they might look at it and go like, yeah, let's just make a Giannis play, right? Or, maybe one of these other teams goes like, hey, you know what? We really underperformed. Let's go make a Giannis play, right? If the Spurs get to the second round or the conference finals or something like that, do they look at it and go like, man, like, dude, we're Giannis away from winning a championship, right? Like, it might incentivize teams to go and pursue Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? Teams underperform. That might cause them to go like, hey, let's take the swing type thing. Not just that, it'd be much easier to trade him. You'd be able to get more assets because more teams would get more assets, like the Lakers, right? They'd have more firsts and all that stuff, plus Austin Reeves if he wants to go there, or you could turn Austin Reeves into assets via sign and trade and then go and package that with what you got to go get Giannis. It just opens the door and makes things easier in any Giannis trade. But the New York Knicks, right, they want to ideally turn Karl Anthony Towns essentially into Giannis. That's the plan. That's the goal, which kind of signals like, okay, so what? They want Giannis to play center, right, with Mikal Bridges and OG, right? So they kind of want to go like probably Brunson, Hart, maybe. If I don't even know if they can keep Hart at that point, but basically Brunson, a two-guard, Mikal Bridges, OG, and Giannis. Honestly, I do think that that's the best approach. I think that's the best route. Karl Anthony Towns, Giannis, and Jalen Brunson might have the highest ceiling, right? Because, Karl Anthony Towns and Giannis next to each other would be ridiculous. And then you add in Jalen Brunson, then Giannis's ability to just kind of be the best defensive player on the basketball court and all that stuff, right? Like, and you'd still have a Mikal Bridges or an OG very likely. So you still have that perimeter defender. Go get like kind of that pit bull guy at the two. Again, you might be the best team in all of basketball at that point, right? So I don't know why the Knicks seem so against trying to keep Karl Anthony Towns, right? Like, but supposedly, again, say supposedly because all this stuff is rumor. Take it all with a grain of salt. But supposedly the Milwaukee Bucks, they do not want Karl Anthony Towns, which Milwaukee can't tank. They can't fully bottom out, but like, Karl Anthony Towns doesn't really make sense, right? Like Karl Anthony Towns just kind of like, yeah, it makes you okay. Him and Miles Turner would be kind of interesting or whatever, but like they don't want like a 30, soon to be 31-year-old like foundation, like somebody that's as old as Giannis as the foundation. They want guys like in their mid to early 20s ideally, like guys that are good enough, right? That can come in, play a role for you type thing. Right? And then kind of build around, or kind of those pieces that just make sense, right? Like Mikal Bridges and OG kind of make sense to them, right? Because go get the point guard and all that, like kind of put the team together, right? But especially with Ryan Rollins kind of stepping, Ryan Rollins, like whatever, Gary Trent Jr., Mikal Bridges, OG, and Miles Turner, like that could be a pretty decent team, right? But with the Bucks not wanting a Karl Anthony Towns, according to Evan Sidery, the path in order for the Knicks to land Giannis, they would have to find a third team to take Karl Anthony Towns because the Knicks don't want to trade OG and Mikal Bridges. The Milwaukee Bucks don't want Karl Anthony Towns. They don't necessarily want OG and Mikal Bridges. Like it's not like one of those things where it's like you have to give us Mikal or OG. No, they just don't want Cat. They want a better package than Cat, right? So, do the Lakers, where the Lakers come in, is the Laker channel, right? Do the Lakers, and would it make sense for Lakers to maybe go and acquire Karl Anthony Towns? This, like right now, let's say between now and the trade deadline, no, I don't think it does. Because LeBron James, you can't play at the 3 at this stage of his career. You just can't. Right? And DeAndre Ayton's been so good for you. Like, you're not replacing him with Karl Anthony Towns. So, no, I would not do it right now. But in the offseason, let's say LeBron says he like, hey, guys, thank you. I'm riding off into the sunset, or I'm going to go finish, play my last year, my farewell tour with Cleveland, or whatever. Whatever he decides to do. Let's say he decides to depart the Lakers. I think Karl Anthony Towns at that point does make a lot of sense. Right? He's somebody that would help win now, and you might be able to get him cheap enough. Like, the problem is like, they want to turn Karl Anthony Towns into a package that can then go get them Giannis. I don't know what team would do that. Like, Karl Anthony Towns, problem with Cat, again, he's a very good player, very good, very talented, but he's 30, soon to be 31. He's going to make $57 million next year, and then he has a player option for $61. He's not going to decline that player option at 32 years old. So you're basically on the hook if you trade for him next season for $100 and almost $20 million. So that's a lot of money in this new CBA. And Karl Anthony Towns is great, but he's not like if Karl Anthony Towns was on the Lakers right now, are the Lakers the best team in basketball? Probably not. Like, they're better. Right? He solves a lot of what the Lakers need. Floor spacing, shooting, help rebound, all of that. But like, Lakers need like perimeter depth and defense and stuff like that. Athleticism out on the perimeter. Like, Karl Anthony Towns is really good, but he's like $60 million good. Pre-CBA, yes. This CBA, it's tough. Right? Like, he's not one of the 10, 15 best players in all of basketball. Again, he's really good. I'd love to have him. Like, the only way I would personally go after Karl Anthony Towns is if he's cheap. Like, if you can get him like cheap, yeah, sure, I'd be all over it. Right? Like, go get Karl Anthony Towns. But that's the problem. Like, I wouldn't trade Austin Reeves to go get Karl Anthony Towns, right? Like, that I wouldn't do. I might consider Austin Reeves if I could get OG and Mikal Bridges. If I get both of them. Because, again, that solves, like, all of your needs. And then you still have guys, like, that. It'd be tough to say no to that type thing, that type of trade. But, like, I wouldn't trade Austin Reeves to go get Karl Anthony Towns. So how do you find the path to get there? Right? And I don't think that they would want a bunch of expiring contracts and then, some first. But like, if you could do something where you gave up 2 firsts plus salary filler to go get Karl Anthony Towns, right? And it's like, hey, because Lakers could potentially have a bunch of cap space. Could they do something where like, hey, we'll absorb most of the contract, send out guys, maybe sign and trade, like give Rui a balloon deal type thing, like to send him to like just to match salaries or whatever. And then, hey, we'll give up 2 firsts. We still have a first to trade, but now we're adding Karl Anthony Towns in place of LeBron, and then go make whatever moves and stuff you need to make. And then, try to go do something like that. Like that, I don't really hate. Right? Like, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's basically 23 and 11, 40% 3-point shooter, make plays. My biggest problem with Karl Anthony Towns is like, he just makes some of the like most craziest bonehead decisions I think I've ever seen from a player. Like, some of the decision making from him is like, you just want to like gouge your eyes. You're like, why? What made you think that was a good idea? I worry his decision making would drive us crazy. Problem is too, is he's not really a great defender. Right? He's not somebody that you're looking to like clamp down out on the perimeter or anything like that. But again, he's a guy that can play the 4, he can play the 5. It's so like you can run DeAndre Ayton and Karl Anthony Towns. And then on top of that, like when Ayton goes to the bench, you could have Towns out there. When, Towns goes to the bench, you have Ayton out there. So you kind of have that versatility as far as the bigs go. And, a lot of people want Lauri Markkanen. I'd rather have I think Karl Anthony Towns is better than Lauri Markkanen. So if you're somebody that likes Lauri Markkanen, think Lauri Markkanen would be great, Karl Anthony Towns is even better. But Karl Anthony Towns is also making a lot more than Lauri Markkanen even. I think Lauri Markkanen's making too much. My biggest problem with Karl Anthony Towns is contract, right? Like, but again, you look at this season, 22 games played, 22 games started, 33 minutes per game, 16 field goal attempts, shooting 47% from the floor. He's shooting this season 35% from 3-point range on 5.4 attempts, but he's a career 40% guy on 4.5 attempts. Like last year on 5 attempts, he shot 42%. The year before that on 5 attempts, he shot 42%. So again, he's a guy that can shoot the basketball. Not just that, but be playing alongside Luka, Luka and Austin Reeves, right? The quality of looks you'd get would just be really good. 2-point range on 10.4 attempts. He's getting 52.6%, which is, again, down from the last few seasons. EFG of 52.7%. Free throw shooting, he's always been a good free throw shooter. On just under 7 attempts, he's shooting 88%, grabbing 12 rebounds, 3.5 assists, a steal, a block, and 22.5 points per game. If you can get him, I think you go get him. But anyways, always, this is a discussion, past question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Else not, if you enjoy these types of videos, I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.